the thing about our culture and our company was I could not work at team headquarters unless I worked in a store.
Gotcha.
So I could understand what that was like. And, there were influential people in my career, but my store manager, who in our company, our managers are very influential in people's career, he kind of took a nerd and convinced me to be he turned me into a salesman, to be honest with you. So it was, and taught me to customers and what we do today, because the strength of the company is customers and associates.
Yeah.
You take care of customers and associates and you're okay.
Welcome again to Strong Conversations, real stories from the leaders, innovators, and change makers across the building industry. I am Sam Marcoux, and joining me on this episode is a man who I think checks all three of those boxes. He is the Chief Operating Officer for 84 Lumber, Mr. Frank Cicero. Frank, how you doing?
Good today.
You are good today. I am good today. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for having me in this amazing place that we're recording this show right now, okay. Nemacolin
Woodlands.
This is amazing. I've never been here before. I checked in yesterday. I think I got lost about 4 times on the way to where we're at, and I did not hate that at all. I got to see the grounds. This is an amazing, amazing place.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming out and being able to do it here. And like you said, what an environment, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have we're actually recording this outside right now, so if you are listening to this or if you're watching this, you might hear some birds tweeting in the background. There's people teeing off on the golf course that's here on the grounds. There's just all kinds of just fun stuff. But it's a beautiful day. We're outside. We're having a wonderful conversation with you. And again, just thank you for being here on the show.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about you, because this is why we're here. We're here to talk to you and pick your brain and learn everything that, well, maybe not everything you've ever learned, but learn as much as we possibly can here over the next 20 minutes from you.
Okay, very good.
So how long have you been with 84 Lumber?
42 years.
42 years.
42 years.
So to put that into context, I am 42 years old.
Well, and I started when you were born. There we go.
What a good year for everybody, everyone involved. I was born in, so I've been with Simpson almost 24 years.
Okay.
And I feel like that's a pretty long run, but 42 is next level.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting about me, my career, is, so if you follow, I start as an entry-level person, manager trainee. 6 months, I'm a co-manager. 2 years, I'm a store manager. I'm an area manager in one place. I moved to become an area manager in a different place. I'm a regional vice president somewhere. I'm another regional vice president somewhere. I'm VP of store operations. I do a couple other weird title things, and then I'm doing whatever I'm doing today. But every step of the way in my career, whatever position it was, it always felt like I ran my own business. And 84 brings to the table that you truly can be an entrepreneur in whatever position you do.
That's fantastic. In fact, I want to lean into that a little bit here. We want to talk all about that because I'm very interested in that career path.
Yep.
Even the physical motion, when you were going through touching it, you were kind of going back and forth. It's not a linear straight line for most people as you grow within an industry, whatever that industry is, but especially this one. Something else that I think is really unique, and I think you just touched on it, and part of the culture of 84 Lumber is people don't stay with the same company for 42 years.
Yeah.
They may stay in the industry.
Yeah.
But it's very rare to see people with 42 years of experience with one company. And I want to pick your brain as to why that is, because you're not alone there. You guys have other people in your organization that have a really long tenure as well. And I just think that's so unique that I want to explore that. But I want to go back in time even before you started 84 Lumber, before you started the industry. I'm curious as your origin story, as somebody who's a superhero fan. So where did you grow up?
Grew up on east side of Baltimore.
Okay, so Maryland.
Maryland.
Not too far from where we are right now.
Not too far. 200 miles.
200 miles. We could walk that. We could walk that today if we wanted to. What was that like growing up? I mean, was it a?
So I grew up. My father was a Baltimore City policeman.
Okay.
This is the era that I live next door. I'm in a 800 square foot row home. I have a stay-at-home mom. It's in this. We actually where we live is physically next to Bethlehem Steel in Sparrows Point.
Gotcha.
So I have these memories of people, walking out of their house in the morning, and men going to work. And like I said, my father, a Baltimore City policeman, and I think I grew up in an era where I think my father taught me work ethic, and my mother taught me how to have some people skills.
Okay.
Somehow this is how I end up,
What a product of your environment.
Yeah.
And a fantastic one of that. So, with your father being a police officer,
Yep.
Did you want to be a police officer? What was the original dream for you growing up? What was the ideal job?
Long story short, I was originally going to go to the United States Naval Academy.
Okay.
And I was actually going to be a boat architect. And long story, wrong I got in, wrong SAT score for English, but I had to go to the prep school.
Okay.
And so I chickened out. I ended up going to a different college, and in that particular college, I was going to be an engineer.
Okay.
And somehow through the engineer thing, I end up with a applied math computer science degree.
So I was going to ask you about that because you went to Towson?
I finished Towson.
You finished, okay.
Started St. Mary's College of Maryland, Towson State University, finish up, applied math, computer science.
And you got a degree in math, more or less.
Math.
Yeah. So, and you wanted to be, at that point, you were going to be an engineer. That was the route you were going.
Long story short, didn't like physics, loved math, changed my mind, going to be a math major. You could talk about different things like being an actuary. You could talk about doing different things. And if you really want to know the story was, so I'm actually working for a bank in Maryland.
Okay.
Right out of college, graduate December of '83. It's January of '84, and what ends up happening is I get this call from a guy who says 84 Lumber Company is on the forefront of starting a new system. So I start February of '84. We write tickets by hand, no computer, a retractable keychain, open a cash drawer. But the thing about our culture and our company was I could not work at team headquarters unless I worked in a store.
Gotcha.
So I could understand what that was like. And, there were influential people in my career, but my store manager, who in our company, our managers are very influential in people's career, he kind of took a nerd and convinced me to be he turned me into a salesman, to be honest with you. So it was, and taught me to customers and what we do today, because the strength of the company is customers and associates.
Yeah.
You take care of customers and associates and you're okay.
It's really interesting you talked about the store managers and how influential they are within 84 Lumber. They're actually influential outside of your company as well. And I'll tell a personal story. I started at Simpson Strong-Tie when I was 19 years old, so a teenager.
Wow.
And one of the very first accounts that I had up in Northern California was an 84 Lumber account.
Wow.
And I didn't know what I was doing. It's debatable whether I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But the store manager of that particular location, for whatever reason, was overtly kind to me.
Yeah.
The salespeople there, where they helped me figure out certain terms that I would have figured it out eventually, but they helped.
Sure.
And to this day, 24, almost 25 years later, I can tell you their name. I could tell you, when I met them, and they were influential in my career. Just kind of put me on the right path of, well, if you're going to be a salesperson for us.
Tim Curtis?
No, it was a guy named Coop.
Coop? If you remember Coop up in Yeah, he's
California.
working back for us in Stockton.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's in Stockton.
Well, shout out to Coop, because Coop, if you're watching this, and you better, because the man's here. Thank you for everything that you did back in the day, because it still sticks with me to this day.
No, what an excellent person.
Yeah, wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Wonderful guy. So, all right, I want to get, you're doing a great job of answering the questions that I wanted to ask you already there, Frank. But I want to talk about college for just a second.
Yeah.
Because we've had some interviews in the past where folks have said, if I could give advice to anybody to take one type of class, it would be this, and here's why. Oh, wow. Is there a class that stands out from your college years where if you could tell somebody, if nothing else, if you were to take a class in whatever, finance or whatever it turns out to be, is there a class that stood out to you that you would recommend to somebody today?
It's interesting, when you're a math major, you get into different types of things. There was a course called Math Models. And in Math Models, how it worked was you were in a group with 4 people, me and 3 other people. And you would get a problem, and you would work as a group to solve it.
I like that.
And so I excelled at Math Models, and I decelled at Advanced Calculus.
Okay.
advanced calculus, very, it's like physics. It's just not real. But when somebody's saying it's math models, you have a brief factory, you have X amount of associates, here's your output, and you get in a room and you have to solve this problem. And I was really probably good at just picking other people's brains and getting one person to take the lead, and you write all the answers and we'll get this done. And so I think find something that you really, really like, and that maybe equates to real life situations.
Well, and like you just said, I mean, that collaborative style of learning, and then like you said, somebody has to take the lead and take all that information, all that study, all that data, all that research, whatever it is, and move it forward to an action plan of some sort. It sounds like something that you're probably doing a lot of in your current role, right? Taking a lot of those lessons from way back when and using them now.
That's I have a saying that says experience is skill. The more you experience in life, the higher your skill level will go up. Whether it's personal, business, whatever, experience is skill.
I would agree with that. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and 100% smarter than I am. And I mean, I knew that when she was 5 years old. She knew that when she was 3 years old. So she had 2 years where she was just taking full advantage of, I got Dad's number. But I do have the life experience versus everything for her is still relatively new, and sometimes you stub your toe with all those life experiences at first. So you're right, experience is a skill because you can lean on that, learn from that history, your mistakes, others' mistakes, and make sure that you're going
100%.
So you mentioned you graduate and you're working at a bank. And a friend calls and says 84 Lumber's got a new system.
Going to have a new system.
And your thought process, I mean, working in the banking industry is a pretty substantial and solid career if you were going to go that route. So that's a pretty big leap to say, okay, I'm going to go into the building materials industry.
I think what I found was in the bank, it was very boxed in. And I felt like that if I could go somewhere where I could be part of something and not be part of somebody else's something, that maybe was what I was aspiring for. And but again, that was a 4-month dream. By the time it's February of '84 that I start, I'm promoted in September of '84 to a co-manager, and I'm full bore going down the path that I want to run my own store. Because I worked with people that ran the store, and I just saw what they were doing and how they were doing it, and I just it was like owning your own business. And I really aspired to do that.
Well, it sounds like you fell in love with the industry and the company real early. It wasn't anything. It wasn't an acquired taste. It was something that you said, this fits me, and I like this.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
So you mentioned the store managers being pretty influential in your career early. Is there anybody in particular that stands out that to this day you say, oh, man, thank you very much for everything that you did for me or helped me along the way? Or is there anybody now that's at the store manager level that you talk to and helps you out?
Oh, wow. I think it's influential people in my career. Is that what we want to talk about? Okay. So, I bump into Maggie Hardy in 1992. And at a meeting, one of her first meetings, I happened to be an area manager, had a group of stores, and you have this legacy company, founder Joe Hardy, and now Maggie's brand new president, 1992. And as a matter of fact, this is her first job. She became the general manager of this place in 1987.
Oh, really?
And this is where she learned to cut her teeth, learn business, and what you see here today. And she becomes president, and I think I've worked with her as an area manager. I've worked with her as a regional vice president. I worked with her as VP of store operations. I work with her today. And what I learned my first meeting with Maggie was she had the uncanny ability to listen to customers and associates. And all business from her eyes and perspective was going to be driven by customers and associates. Listen to associates, listen to what they need. Listen to customers, what are their needs? And you put those two things together and you end up with a successful business.
Yeah.
And I think she cut her teeth doing that, customers and associates. So probably single most influential person in my career would be Maggie, because she not only I was doing it, but she taught me that it could take business to the next level. And then next influential person in my career was a guy named Tim Dijung. He was my first store manager. He taught me customer care, service. I had a little bit of work ethic, so he didn't have to teach me work ethic. Another influential person is a guy who still works for us. His name is Steve Benko. So if Tim, as a manager, taught me this sales side of our business, I mean, Steve really taught me operational excellence. And so I learned from a sales guy, I learned from an operations guy, and then I go and I manage a store.
Yeah.
And so as all these things, maybe another influential person was my regional manager named Doug Murdoch. And he, when I became an area manager, had a group of stores. He taught me the ability how to manage multiple people and not manage one thing. So Maggie, Tim, Steve, Doug, 4 very influential people in my career. And I'm blessed to work around people right now. I mean, I have a tremendous amount of respect for people who run our stores, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for people who run their own business.
Yeah.
Because you get up every day and it's yours, and you wake up and that's 84. It's mine. If it was mine, what would I do today?
Yeah.
That's a Maggie line.
There.
Yeah.
So a couple other questions for you here, because believe it or not, we're coming up on 20 minutes already. We're sitting down talking here. It goes fast. Yep. When you're good like you are, it just goes fast.
I don't know about that.
So you had you mentioned at the beginning a bunch of different stops along the way to get to where you are today as the COO.
Yeah.
What was the hardest or most challenging transition from one job at 84 to the next, and why? Why was it such a challenge for you, and how did you overcome it?
You're a store manager. You have a group of guys. You're with them every day, and they know you very well. And then you become an area manager, and now you have 17 stores, and you have 17 managers of different personalities, and you're not there every day.
Yeah.
And now you're really coming up and figuring out how to be reliant on those people. And I always felt like when I got to that, here's the honest story.
Yeah.
I had an area manager when I was a store manager, and I really didn't care for him. And when I became an area manager, the one thing I said was, I'm not going to be like that. And I really felt like by supporting those store managers and listening, and as the area manager in our company, you have the chance to bring on the Frank Ciceros of the world. And then you're bringing a manager trainee in to Burlington, New Jersey. And you now can see a person grow. And, wherever we end, but for me, 42 years, I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot, and I've succeeded to some degree. There's still more to do.
Good.
And I would tell you, more than anything, for me, and especially for Maggie, we talk about this all the time, success for us anymore is through other people's eyes, not mine anymore. It's for me to see Keith Herr in Plant City, Florida. It's for me to see a Dan Jones be the person, a Matt Bourne, a Matt Rink, area manager in Charlotte, to see a Jason Skaggs. I'm sorry, I'm not, I could go on and on about people, but success through other people's eyes is really the goal today and the true love.
Well, and their success is your success, and I love the way you just worded that, because there is a moment in your career when you've been with a company a long time and you move into roles of leadership, mentorship, and everything else, where that does become more important than the individual success of whatever, a title, promotion, things of that nature. Yeah. A couple more questions for you, and then I'll let you go, because we've already spent 20 minutes here, believe it or not. But you've mentioned that you've seen a lot of things, you've done a lot of things in your career. What's the biggest change you've seen in our industry, in the building materials industry, from when you started until today?
Oh, wow. When I start, there's a builder, and this particular builder, he has a dump truck, he has a trailer, and he has a backhoe. And he comes in and he's building his own house, and he's probably digging the foundation and doing everything himself, whether he's Joe Meta of Annapolis or Henry Construction of Seabrook, Maryland, or DMG Contractors of White Plains, Maryland. These individuals did everything start to finish. And today, over time, you know, everything's more specialized. You know, you have subcontractors and the builder, and I see now the next phase is really technology. How do we all take this technology, and it's very cliche, you know, how do we take AI and take it and put it into our industry and get it to the next level?
Yeah.
So big changes, the growth of the builder, to be honest with you. That would be my answer.
I would agree. I mean, I don't have 42, I've got 24, but it's stark to see where we started and where we are right now, and then where we're going in the future.
Yeah, neither one's right or wrong. It's just how it got done.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, last question for you.
Yep.
Maybe the most important.
Yep.
For anybody listening to this that's just starting with 84 Lumber, or they're thinking about coming into this industry, from your point of view as a leader, as a COO of a large company, what is something that somebody can do to stand out in a crowd? How do people make themselves visible to somebody like yourself?
Maybe it's not one thing.
Okay.
So I see people that come in, and it's a very simple model. And I think I'll do two of them, okay? First one is work hard, care, and check your ego at the door. That the whole is bigger than the individual. So you check your ego at the door. Not saying you can't have an ego and want to strive to be the best. And then my other saying is that I think goes through life is don't be lazy, do things the right way, and treat people with dignity and respect. And I think that those last three don't guide you in our industry. I believe they'll guide you in life.
Well, there you go. I couldn't say it any better, and I won't even attempt to. Frank, thank you very much for being here on Strong Conversations. Anything else you want to say before we part ways?
No, appreciate that. Appreciate being here.
Appreciate you. Thank you, and
Okay,
thank you all for listening. We'll have more shows coming up soon. Stick around.